Alec, Peirce. Pro LDS tips, whatever you want to call them. These are just ideas for you guys. You're in the business, mainly guys in the business, a way to improve your service department. And I can recall, as I mentioned in an earlier video, I can recall there were a couple of times, economic times, when sales were not good, travel wasn't happening, and so on, and we depended on the service department. And we made a lot of money in the service department, really a lot of money in the service department. And the service for Scuba is not cheap anymore. No. You take a regulator in now, if you get out of there for less than $300, you've done, that's pretty cheap. And some people freak out about that, but $300, you can't buy a car tire for $300 anymore. One car tire. It's actually pretty cheap, particularly when you know that service is done properly. You're going to go scuba diving safely, confidence, not have to worry about it, and for a long time. The point is that you can make good money at the service department, but there's ways you can make more. Yes, if you organize really, really well so that your time is not wasted, and if you ensure that the customer knows they're getting top quality service and follow up with them. So I have a couple of ideas. First of all, as you've seen in my previous video, make sure that your service department looks good. Now, technically, in practice, the customer is never going to see the service department, but people will. It happens. If it's at the back, they shouldn't, but it will happen. And if they see a mess, you can be guaranteed all your customers will know about it pretty soon. This is the age, this is, I don't know what it's called, but the social media age, and everybody's on Facebook. And if they're not on Facebook, or maybe at the same time, they're on Twitter and TikTok. Oh no, it's been banned, but anyway, all those things, And so if there's a problem at your dive store, you can guarantee that your customers are going to know about it. So make sure that your service area is neat, well organized, tools are clean, it looks like it's a professional dive center. Now, the first thing that you need to do, in my opinion, when a customer comes in and he says, "Hey, I need my regulator serviced," that's the way they talk. Customers talk like that. "Hey, I need my regulator service." They come in. As you take the regulator from the chap, you do a quick visual look at it right then and there. Okay, right in front of them. And you say, "Hey, this is great. This is nice and clean. When's the last time you used it?" "Well, I was using it just 2 weeks ago on a dive up in Georgian Bay." You go, "Well, that's fresh water and everything worked just fine. So why are you bringing it in?" "Well, it's been a year since I had a service, and that guy Alec Peirce told me every year." You say, "Well, it probably doesn't need very much. We will do an analysis and find out if there are any problems. We'll fix and replace any parts that need to be replaced and return it to you in better than new condition." Okay? It may not need a complete tear down and service if you dive only in fresh water. Okay? So you talk like that to the guy. You're doing him a favor. You're going to do a professional job. There's no cutting any corners here. No, there's no discount on service. You don't want me to use cheap parts? I can get Bobby to do it instead of Marty. Bobby's a pretty good guy. He used to be an automotive mechanic. He's good with wrenches. No. Service is service. It's right or it's wrong. If it's right, it's right. If it's wrong, don't go there. So you have that kind of a conversation with the diver. Now you're going to say, "Now this is your regulator, but I notice that you don't have your computer. You took the computer." And you say, "Well, yeah." And what you say is, "Well, you should bring the computer in too at the same time, and I'll double check. I'll make sure that the programs are working reasonably well, and I can replace the battery in O-ring for you. It's not expensive at all. Then you have no problem. You can confidently dive with it. And what about your BC? BCs are made of fabric. BCs need a lot of service. That power inflate valve is always exposed to salt water. There's always salt water inside the BC. It's not good for it. We can quickly do this, and we have a complete BC service program. You can see here on the wall. It should be right there. People should know what service is going to go. Don't make it a secret. It should be there. Complete BC service, not including parts, is usually $39. I can do the whole thing. I tell you what you should do. Why don't you put all your dive gear into a bag and bring it in? Several years ago, I had this idea because I was an ideas guy. I wasn't special at all, but I was pretty good at thinking up ideas, ways to serve the customer and ensure our business did well too. It's a two-way street. And we had this whole bag service. Whole bag service. Generally, scuba divers keep all the gear in a dive bag. It's called a dive bag for a reason, to keep your dive gear in it. They keep it all in a dive bag. Now, they're going on a trip. They want to be sure everything's working properly. So they go through the bag to pick out the stuff they want serviced. That doesn't make sense. Bring me the bag. Whole bag service. And for a fee, we would check everything. We would check the mast traps, the glass, snorkel if there is one, the fins, fin straps, the clips. If they have a suit, a wetsuit, we'd be sure it's clean. We'd lubricate the zipper, make sure it's working properly. The dive bag itself, we would clean and make sure the zipper is working. Whoever does that cleans and lubricates the zipper in the dive bag. Put it in the list. And then, of course, on top of all of that, we would service the buoyancy compensator, complete the service if necessary, or ensure the regulator is working properly, and replace the battery on the computer. Done. Get brought back on the bag with a list of what you've done, give it to the customer, send them to the cashier, and he can dive confident knowing everything. He reaches in and pulls it, it's done. Serviced. It's a great idea, a whole bag service. Yeah, don't bring him in your mask and then next week your regulator and so on. And it made a lot of sense. It was a marketing idea. I never ever did it. But I think it's still a good idea. You could do that. Bring it in, let's get her done. All right, so a couple of other ideas and things that I think you ought to be doing. When you bring the gear in, write down complaints. Do you have any complaints? Write it right down there. Okay, on the piece of paper. You should have a special piece of paper just for this, with your store name at the top, and a place for the service person to write down at the bottom his name, printed and signed. Anyway, and all the different things that you do. It's a great idea to have a checklist. If we do this, check IP, we check the filter, all the way down there. You give it to the customer, and the customer, holy shit, $300, but look what they did, dear. Hey, now you and I both know that a lot of stuff on that is a quick visual check. Mouthpiece. Yep, mouthpiece is good. Check it out. How long does that take? But it's impressive, and it should be done anyway. You give the list to the customer afterwards. He looks at the list, and you did all that? My gosh, holy! I'm going to give you a tip. Not likely, but anyway. So there should be a list. Make sure the contact information is on there. Get at least 2 pieces of contact information, a telephone, mobile, hopefully, email address, and so on. Make sure you can reach them easily. Get the gear done, your job is done. This bag where the gear is stored carefully. We used to use plastic boxes about this big for a customer. When the gear came in, it went into the box. And the tag was attached to the box. We take the box off the wall, set it down, service it, put the tag filled out, put it back. It looked good, and everything was out of the way. I know they hang regulators on a hook on the wall, a whole bunch of them. No, each customer had his own box. And we bring the box out to the front. It looked really impressive. Yeah, here's your gear, sir. Okay. Here's your tag, yeah, and here's your rig. How's it look? Whoa, looks nice. You bring it out. See? A lot of it is looks. Okay, I could tell you a story about how looks can make you money, but we'll leave it for now. So you do that. And then here's something that nobody does. I don't think anybody. Who follows up? When I take my F-150 into the dealership, who I've been dealing with for a long time, I take it in and I give them, it ain't $300, let me tell you that. The oil changes not that much, but it's close. And you give them their $1,500, whatever it happens to be for it, and you drive home. And then 3, 4, 5 days later, I get a call from John Williams. Yeah, Alec, it's John at so-and-so Motors. Just wanted to follow up. You had in the truck. How's everything running? Is it running smoothly? The problem with the W2 is all done? Everything's good? Okay, well, you let me know, huh? There's an issue. All right, thanks very much. And appreciate your business. Take care. Okay, bye-bye, Alec. 30 seconds. I love it. I love it. I wouldn't go anywhere else. These people care about me. Or my money. I don't know which it is, but, they care about me. How many people do that at a dive store? Nobody I know. You got all the information. They're in the computer. You got your copy of the tag. Why wouldn't you do that? You know they're going away for a two-week trip down to where's my favorite place? Truck Lagoon. Yeah, diving on that shipwreck. So maybe doing a couple of dives a little deep, 20, 25, 130, a shipwreck, whole thing, and they come back. And they come back, and you know when they're coming back. So you wait until they're back. Everything's back to normal. The kids are in school, work, and everything else. You wait. Hey. Yeah, it's Alec at Scuba 2000. Listen, how was your trip? Yeah, you back? Did you see so? Yeah, and how about the gear? Now, we serviced all your gear before we left. I was concerned. I was thinking about you. I hope everything worked perfectly. Were there any issues? No? Whew, good, that's great. I didn't think there would be. But I always like to hear. Now you let me know when you're going, and how long does that take? You think that customer's not going to be impressed? Trust me, they're going to be impressed. Anyway, just some ideas, guys. You do what you want. You can carry on and still make good money at the service area, or you can make your service department one of the best and make it into a profit center. It's no longer the place where you fix regs. It's a place where you make money. And keep your customers happy too. It's always that two-way street. Anyway, there's some ideas for you. Hope there's something in there for you. Alec Peirce, Pro, LDS.
LDS Pro.
LDS Pro. I'll get a straight. Whatever it is. There's some ideas for you guys. I hope they help. Take care. Bye-bye.